Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And we are at the penultimate episode of Better Call Saul, season 4. And oh man, I'm going to try some German here. It is a Wiedersehen, which I have no idea what it means. But I'll look it up before the end of the podcast and we'll find out. These are visceral reviews, so they are not researched. This is just an initial review of after we watch an episode. It's kind of our thing here because I always feel like it's the most honest one, the one that you walk out of. Like first time you walked out of Star Wars, that first time you didn't have time to think about it. You just knew that you loved it. And that's kind of what we do here. Big takeaway from Better Call Saul. I'm going to state the obvious. This is a very dark show. And Kim had, oh my God, just a razor blade of a quote tonight. You got to hear it in context, which I'll get to. But oh man, when somebody says stuff like that to one's face, you can understand why Jimmy turns into Saul Goodman and why he has. And of course, he's brought this all on himself. It's his behavior. It's how he's brought up. But this is really interesting. This was a really interesting episode. It started out fun, the kind of fun stuff we like from Better Call Saul, with a little bit of a caper, a little bit of a con. But then it goes into just some really dark territory with some very, very bad decisions. And this is a show that delivers on disappointment, and not disappointment in storytelling, but disappointment within the storytelling. And it's like we're watching a really slow car wreck. But we always slow down, and you do. I do. We all do it. So Kim shows up we're in Lubbock, Texas. And let me okay, so at the end of last episode, Kim had helped Huel get out of the jam he was in for hitting a cop in the head with a sandwich, what he thought was protecting Jimmy. Jimmy went to Kim. Kim goes into full Slippin' Jimmy mode, and they run a little con and they get Huel off, and then she kind of gets off on it. She has been really bored with her job for Mesa Verde, and she said she wants to do it again. So here we are doing again. So she is in Lubbock, Texas. She is in the planning office. And it's weird how this is, and really good storytelling, how this has kind of come full circle. This has to do with Mesa Verde. And there was a scene in last week's episode where her boss and one of her coworkers were talking about how one of the locations was doing really well of Mesa Verde Bank, and they wanted to see if they could change the plans, the ones in New Mexico, to match the ones I believe it was in Wyoming, so they could match, because the building, the way it's set, they believe the way the building is set up is bringing in more business. So they wanted to do that in New Mexico as well. But the thing was, they had to go through hell to get through, or at least Kim did and Jimmy did, to go through hell to get that location going. And that's how Kim got the job, because it was originally belonged to Chuck. And it's all led up to this moment, but they decided to back down on this. They're like, oh man, it'd be really nice if we could, have this building that's like the one in Wyoming, but it'd be too much work. And, Kim was just kind of looking down on him for that. She wants the challenge. This is kind of the challenge she was looking for within that pretty dead end job. So here we go with Kim pulling a Slippin' Jimmy with something involved with Mesa Verde. So she goes in the planning office. Sorry, it was in Lubbock, Texas. It was a location in Lubbock, Texas. So she's in Lubbock, and she comes in on crutches. And she's got the plans under her arm, and she's acting all frazzled. And she goes to the lady in the planning office. She's all, hey, I just want to match up these plans. I heard there might be some differences, and I'd be in a lot of trouble with my boss. Can we just, check them out to make sure they're both the same? She says, sure. So they lay out the plans, and as they're doing it, they get, a little small talk, and the lady asks how she, if her leg is broken or sprained, and Kim says, oh, it's just a sprain, but it's pretty tough because, I have an 8 month child at home, and I'm a single mom, and my brother's helping take, just winding this whole story is total bullshit, talking about how her brother's there to help, but he's kind of a loser, just kind of laying it on pretty thick. and it starts to work on the lady in the planning office. Then Jimmy comes in with all the bags and some milk with the baby, and or from the baby, and he asks Kim if she wants to smell the milk, see if it's okay. And Kim's like, "Where's the baby?" And Jimmy's like, "Oh, it's in the Cherokee." "You left the baby in the car?" And she acts all freaked out, and she takes off, and Jimmy puts the pouch of milk on the plans. And as they do this whole bullshit thing with the 8-month-year-old kid who's not really in the car at all, the milk, they pierced a hole in it and the milk leaks on the plans. So when Kim comes back, she starts freaking out. The lady's in there going, "Yeah, the milk got all over the plans, but don't worry. Don't worry. The ones you have there match perfectly. Nobody will know except for you and me. Let's just switch them out." And Kim's like, "You sure?" And she's all, "Yeah." And she's all, "Oh, you'd save me." And as she switches out the plan, she pulls out the new ones and lays it out on the table. And then the lady just stamps them all. And there you go. Mesa Verde gets their new location. And it was pretty dirty. It's pretty dirty how they had to do it to that poor lady in the planning office. But Kim didn't care. Kim didn't care at all. She loved every minute of it. And yeah. And I thought that was setting the pace for this episode. I'm like, this is fun. I love it when they do shit like that. That's kind of like my favorite thing in the show. But it goes downhill from there. But there's some great scenes. So we have Lalo and Nacho going to an old folks home, and they're checking out Hector Salamanca. And he's not in good shape. Nacho and Lalo kind of sit next to Hector, and Lalo tells the story of he sees if his uncle recognizes him, and at first he kind of doesn't, but they're and this has something to do with Breaking Bad. We see the birth of the bell, I guess. So I guess this is a big scene, and just to remind you folks, I've not seen Breaking Bad all the way through. Doing it, I got into Better Call Saul first. It's kind of weird how that happened, but it happened. So, and I've explained it in previous recaps. So, as Lalo's telling some story about how Hector, some guy had betrayed Hector, who would, Hector had really shown a lot of, helped out a lot. Some guy turned his back on him. So they ended up basically, he tells the story how he taught the teacher. I guess the guy was a professor, and they burned down his house, and I'm assuming with the guy in it. And as the story goes, Lalo didn't mention to Hector that he had gone back into the burning house and retrieved the bell. And I guess this professor always hit this bell, and it was really annoying. So he gives it to Hector and ties it on a string, and that's how Hector communicates with everybody. This little bell. And we're reminded that Hector probably could have gotten better if he would have stayed in the hospital, but it was Gus's decision to pull him out a little early so he would just stay that way, which is extra cruel. And who knows, maybe he had it coming. So, yeah. And then we go back to the victory dinner in a little restaurant with Kim and Jimmy, and they're talking about how, the plan went well, and oh man, I can't wait to do this again. And Kim mentions that she wants to use these powers for good. And Jimmy's all, "Oh, really? Okay. How was this what we just did for good?" And again, sometimes stuff just slipping Jimmy. And good is relative. It was really good for Kim. It was very helpful for Kim because Kim has a great victory for Mesa Verde, which will free her time to do more shit with Jimmy. But he completely missed that. And he completely misses something else later on in the episode, which I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So then we get to the Germans and Mike, and they're in there building the meth lab as usual. And there is looks like there's they're setting up that charge to get rid of that one big rock, and one of the wires is loose. So we follow Verner as he goes down to check it. And then we see what's really going on with Verner. And this happens a couple times in this episode. There's a lot of people who wear masks in this episode, especially Jimmy. We never see the real Jimmy until later in this episode. So Verner has been putting on this front like everything's cool. He's all happy. And when he goes in to check the wiring, we see him like, I thought he was having a heart attack at first. He just starts having a panic attack, and he starts freaking out. And it then took me a second. I'm like, oh, he's just been there too long. So we were all I was all focused on the kids, the young ones freaking out. And it's actually Verner who's starting to freak out from being locked up in so being in solitude for so long and away from his wife. So he comes back, he fixes the wire after his little panic attack and looks all cool. It's like, cool, let's do it, let's blow it. And they have to do this very quietly. So they're timing the explosion with a truck driving over and making some noise, just on the slight chance that somebody out there might hear it, which shows again the lengths Gus will go through to cover his tracks, which is pretty insane. But really smart, really smart. So the explosion goes off, but right before it does, Mike notices, because Mike doesn't miss a lot of details. Verner kind of clenches his hand, and Mike kind of raises his eyebrow, and he looks like, what's going on here? So next scene, we see Gus Fring meet Lalo. And one of the managers of the chicken place comes in and says, hey, there's one of the guys who's caused trouble here before is here, but they just bought some chicken, but I thought you should know. And, Gus is like, oh shit. And he goes out there and he sees Nacho with Lalo. And he just acts like a manager at a restaurant. He's always, everything to your satisfaction. And then Lalo lays it on thick, like, oh, this is the best chicken I've ever had. Come on. And you ever think about franchising? Can we talk in your office? And they go talk in the office. They leave Nacho there. Gus kind of gives him a look, and Nacho's like, I can't fucking do anything. What do you want me to do? So Lalo and Gus go back and talk, and this is a great little gangster conversation which is basically, I hate you, you hate me, but we're going to show respect to each other and be all nice and play nice right now, just to, kind of suss each other out. Gus plays it perfectly. Lalo even tries to drag him into, he's like, I know there's been bad blood, but hopefully we can have things worked out. But maybe that's what the Don wants. Maybe he wants us at war. Maybe we should, I don't know, work closer together. And Gus just goes, I'm satisfied with our arrangement right now. And he's all, good answer, because you don't want to go up against the Don. That'd be crazy. All right, good talk. We'll talk later. And yeah, Gus doesn't look happy with this arrangement at all. And it's not going to end well. I'm suspecting it won't end well for Lalo. More and more, I'm thinking that Nacho might get away from all this. I'm kind of hoping. You can't have everybody die. So maybe, but it seems like everybody's going to get away from this with a price. Making a deal with the devil here before Walter White shows up. But who knows? Who knows? So we're at Jimmy is in his board meeting. So it's time for him to be reinstated for a lawyer. This is what we've been waiting for all season. We've had a lawyerless Better Call Saul this entire season, and he does pretty good in front of the board. They answer, they ask him some standard questions, and at first he sounds pretty scripted, but then he gets a couple of kind of out of left field questions from a girl, and it looks like they're kind of buying it. And once they're done with the basic question, Jimmy goes off on the Constitution, and I think he laid it on a bit thick. But then one girl asks him, like, what does the law mean to you? And at first, Jimmy kind of struggles with it, but then he answers it brilliantly. Actually, he talks about how he didn't think he wanted to do it, but after working with some lawyers, he thought I could do that. And he talked about how he worked hard, and yes, he went to a correspondence school, and it was the only one who would have him. He talked about giving up on the bar, and it almost killed him, but he fought through, and it was a really impassioned speech and really well done. Then she asks one more question, and this one is what cost him. And she asked him, was there any influence on your views? And it's not that big of a town, so they had to know about Chuck. This was the perfect opportunity to bring up my brother. Nope. Jimmy goes, the University of American Samoa, go land crabs. That was his answer, and that cost him the meeting. He finds out later. At first, they said they'll send a letter out in 3 to 4 days or something like that. But he sits outside and waits for the stenographer and asks her, what happened. And by the look on her face, he could tell that he didn't make it. So he runs through and he freaks out, finds one of the board members, asks him what happened. He said, well, some of us found you insincere. And he fucking completely flips after that. So our next scene, we see Mike and Verner again. And we can see what's at this point. I know what's going to happen. Verner is on the phone with his wife for 2 hours because Mike offered him an extra phone call, and they had a previous conversation about, like, basically missing his wife. But Mike has been kind of keeping an eye on him, and he knows something's up with Verner. So they have this, this 2 hour phone call. He has this 2 hour phone call. And we kind of leave it at that. But we see Verner, he puts out a cigarette after the phone call, and he's kind of looking around and up at the lights. And we cut away to the next scene. We see Jimmy driving up to the roof, I believe, of Mesa Verde, where he meets Kim and completely flips out. And for the first time in a long time, we see the real Jimmy. Like, all the facades are down. He's stripped to nothing. He's completely pissed and exasperated and crushed. He thought he convinced him. He thought he'd answered everything right. And Kim, can't believe it. And he's like, he mentions they asked about what does law mean to me, and she's all, that's a big one. He's all, and I crushed it. And she's all, okay, then did you bring up Chuck? And he's all, why would I bring up Chuck? Why would I bring up Chuck? And it still didn't get through to him that that's what cost it to him. So instead, he kind of takes it out on Kim, starts yelling at her, starts bitching at her about the office again. And they start going at it. And she's like, I have dropped everything for you every fucking time you've needed me. I've been here for you. Why are you tripping on some office? It's my job. Have I not proven enough for you? Is that the measure of our love, is some office? And and Jimmy just goes, here we go. Come on, kick a man while he's down. And she just looks him square in the eye and goes, Jimmy, you're always down. It's like, ooh, oh, truth fucking hurts. Damn. That was, oh my God, that was a gut punch. That was a stab in the gut, a slow stab in the gut, but a good one. And truth. That's the truth. Fucking truth hurts. That's the way it goes. So with the next scene, we see them go back to the house, and there's just a very silent, awkward scene. Jimmy's in the bathroom, and he just mumbles that he really messed things up. And Kim asks him, like, do you still want to be a lawyer? And he says, yeah. And he's all, well, and she says, well, we can start with that. And that's where we end with them. And in the final scene, we're back with Mike and the Germans. And Mike's getting in for the day. He's asking how it's going. Everybody says it looks great. Kai cheats at volleyball. He stays up late. But yeah, we just had a camera go out due to some power surge, and Mike's all, he asked what's up with camera 6, and they said some kind of power surge, but it came back on, and he noticed a couple artifacts on it, and he's all, what's that? That's interesting. Asked to see another camera, and he sees the same artifacts, and then he goes, let me see the outside cameras, and he finds another outside camera, and it's got the same little colored artifacts on it. He says, oh shit. And he runs in there, has him turn on the light, calls out all the Germans, and Verner is gone. He bailed. I don't know how far he can get on foot, but he's gone. They run up to the roof, and Verner had, they run up to the roof and sees gone. Mike is on the ground, and he picks up that kind of like, it's a laser measuring device. And he figures it out that he used the laser measuring device. He pointed at the camera and burns out the camera, and he took off. And poor Verner is a dead man. There's no way Gus is going to let this guy live, especially if he gets out and makes it to somebody. I think there is a slight chance, but I thought I've been of the mind all along that they were going to kill all the Germans when this was over. Maybe you Breaking Bad people know more than I do on this one, but I think we're definitely being set up. We are at the season finale next episode, and this one was 78 minutes long, by the way, but it went really fast. It went really fast. So let me get something to drink here. Excuse me. We'll get to the chat, but holy shit, that was a good episode. My God, fucking Kim. By the way, Kim, I know she's a fictional character, but if any of you got, I kind of got a wife kind of like Kim, who would drop anything for me, anywhere, anytime. Make sure a wife, husband, partner, whatever, make sure to appreciate them out there. A little unsolicited advice from your friends here at Nerdrotic. If your partner is anything like Kim, especially the fact that she's not like a goody two shoes either. She'll smoke a cigarette once in a while, go out and like run a con with you. I mean, oh man, like that is a keeper all day long. Dude, what's up, Johnny Pappas? That's my San Diego bra right there. How's it going, San Diego? Shooting the curls, bra. Uh, darn flash flood warning. Sitting in dark, hiding from the policia. Well, I don't think they're after you. I think they're just trying to warn you of the flash flood. Where are you, Deanna DeWall? Are you in the Southwest? I know there's been some big storms in San Diego and in Southwest. Yeah, well, yeah, we got a gang in here. We got Deanna, Artemis over easy, or Dina. Sorry, Dina. Is it Dina or Deanna? I had a friend named Dina in high school. A Destiny Captain. Can't wait for the new Mesa Verde to open in my hometown. Right? Slurmy Scott, what's up? Endless 3 or Endless Echo? It's Endless Echo. Bad dudes. It's a bunch of bad people making bad decisions. Kim is like the better. She's not bad. But she likes her bad boys. This looks nothing like Lubbock, by the way. Yeah, probably not. I've driven through Lubbock, but I'm sure a lot of people have said that, Destiny Captain. Is that where you are? Good old Lubbock. We love Texas here at the Nerderotic channel. I know you probably don't want to hear another Californian talking about or pining to move to your state, but man, cheaper houses and no state tax. Fucking awesome. Yeah. Kim laid down some awful, awesome slippage with the town clerk lady. Yes, she was horrible. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, that scene was good because I knew that Hector kind of ends up that way, so I knew about the bell, and that I bet your Breaking Bad fans were just stoked with that, or were you not? Are you being shown too much? Is it like is some stuff best left to the imagination, or are they delivering pretty good? Interested to hear of that. We got 2 ITOPs and a Denny's. Oh, you're big time over there in Lubbock, Sorry, I sound like a Midwestern there. But yeah, it was a big deal in my dad's hometown of Roscoe, South Dakota. Oh, we got a Chevron gas station. They got snacks and everything. It's right near Donnie's Cafe. Artemis over easy asks, anyone else think the dynamite was going to blow when Werner went down there to check it? Yes, I was fully expecting him to get decapitated. I think there might be some foreshadowing there too, Artemis over easy, on how you get rid of the Germans. You bring Verner back. You go, hey, everything's cool. Hey, the line down there, it's doing the light thing again. I need you to go down there, but I need you to take the whole crew with you because I want you to double check and make sure everything's okay. Okay, guys, all of you go down there. Don't worry, I got the button. Have fun storming the castle, and then hit the button and blow up all the Germans. I think it could happen. Pumpkins for everyone, says Ken, Jack, Ben, or yes, and he's talking about my our little logo there. And Halloween is our Christmas here at the Wagner Beekler household. And yeah, this shirt is ugly, but I love it. It glows in the dark too. I know you're jealous. Not seeing a long life ahead for Lalo. I think Gus will have Nacho kill him, dragging Nacho deeper into hell. I agree with you, Artemis over easy. Lalo and Nacho have to make it to Saul's entrance on Breaking Bad. Yeah, I think doesn't Lalo get mentioned in Breaking Bad? I don't know. Saul mentions them when Walter and Jesse take him to the desert. Ah, okay. Gotcha. So does Nacho get mentioned in Breaking Bad? Interesting. What's up, the DJD show? So Verner is gay, right? Why would Verner be gay? Oh, maybe that's well, I thought it is his wife. Maybe it's well, I don't know. Maybe I missed something. I thought he was talking about his wife, but I really, yeah, I don't know. Vanna. Uh, what's up? Is it so? Is it CD Horde or is it Cord or yeah, how am I supposed to say that? Have I been saying it wrong, guys? If I'm saying your name wrong, please correct me. Um, oh, Mecca sent us. That's nice. That was nice of her. She could have kept her live stream going. We at the Tribunal are gonna we're gonna cross streams once in a while, especially when I do a ton of TV shows. If it's show specific, she can keep her live streams going. It's cool because these are made basically as a video. It's just an interactive video. Um, I like to hear from you guys, especially when I do these things by myself. And I just lost. There we go. It's a cool shirt, says Jody. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're in Baja California. Well, yeah, Deanna. Then you just dealt with like a hurricane. It was a cool callback for Breaking Bad with Hector's bell. So Artemis over easy says cool callback, and Matt Guy says better than the Dice BS and Solo, most definitely. I loved it. I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, says Matt Guy. Cool. Nope, no Nacho and Breaking Bad. Gotcha. What's up, Mary? CD Horde. So I have been saying it right. Okay, cool. Thank you, CD Horde. Mecca was losing her verse. Well, she's been on Mecca's been on mega live streams today. Yeah, I'm starting. I this is my third. Sorry. Don't mean to drink in the microphone. I apologize. Doomcock needs 9 more subs, man. Let's get him there. So freaking close. I know I told him he'd get there today too, but it's still today for like 4 more hours. Have we covered Ozark? We are not going to cover Ozark, Destiny Captain. It was okay, but I'm like we just got to say no to some shows, and it's not like it's bad, but when it comes to Netflix shows, Destiny Captain, we only end up doing one podcast anyway. We got to focus on like the weekly stuff because that keeps people coming in. Mecca needs maintenance. Yes, she does. She needs to be put in sleep mode for a little while. Saul mentions Ignacio and Lalo when he thinks Walter is going to kill him in the desert. Gotcha. Thank you, Destiny Captain. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for the season finale, but man, this season has flown by. It seems like Chuck just died, and that was so long ago. Sleep data. That's right, CD Horde. She needs it. So yeah, I think we're gonna get another long episode next week, guys. I think we're gonna get another almost 80-minute episode, maybe a 90-minute episode. And I think it's cool when they do stuff like that. I think a lot of shit's gonna go down. I do think that Jimmy will be a lawyer again. And he does mention briefly in the restaurant that talking about how it was good client, when he was selling the cell phones, he was kind of mining for clients in there too. But the thing is, they only know him as Saul Goodman. He's all because those idiots are all going to need lawyers at some point. So yeah, I think he's going to be Saul Goodman by the end of the season and be a lawyer again. But is he going to be with Kim? I don't know, man. That fight was pretty brutal. Doomcock deserves millions of subs. Same as me. Oh, thanks, Matt Guy. I'll take what I can get. I really appreciate the sentiment. Yes, Doomcock will get millions of subs. No doubt about it. People will figure it out. With Doomcock, guys, you are okay. Think of all of yourselves as hipsters. You've all arrived and found the cool band before everybody else did. So you can all go, I knew Doomcock before he had, 1,000 subs. Honest to God truth here, hand to heart. I was the person who got him to 1,000 subs. He was at 996. I have 5 Gmails. I used all 5 of my Gmails to get him to 1,000 subs. I got him to 1,001. It was me. So there. I used to have more subs than Doomcock. Yes. And then he flew by me. But we've done pretty well. We started the year with 1,000. A year ago today, we had 300. A year ago today, we had 30,000 page views. We are closing in on 1 million. By the end of November, we'll have 1 million. I'm very proud of that. Now, there's people with tons more than that, and that's cool. Good on them. Slow growth. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I knew Doomcock before he had 200 subs. I got him to 500, I think. I have a few accounts as Mecca. There you go. See? Yeah, I caught Doomcock thanks to Rob from Midnight's Edge. He said, you got to check out this guy named Doomcock. So I did, and I was hooked ever since. I think he was at around 500 something subs at that point. No, he was at 300 because he was around where I was. And I was shocked. After I saw the video, I was shocked that he had the same amount of subs. I was like, this guy should have thousands of subs. But he got mentioned a lot. He's another YouTuber, by the way. I know it's a Better Call Saul thing. He got mentioned a lot this morning on World Class Bullshitters. So we'll round this back up to Better Call Saul. Sorry, folks. Great show. I have yet to have I criticized even a second of the show this season? I don't think I have. So take that, people who say I'm negative all the time. No. I love this show. Actually, most of the stuff we carry is very, very good. I know they really don't cross over well, but Better Call Saul and Venture Brothers right now give me hope for humanity as far as television shows go and writing goes. They are two brilliant shows. Yes, one's a cartoon, but it is way more than a cartoon. And Better Call Saul is a show. I don't even like this type of show. I don't like dramas. Okay, if I want a drama, I'll just remember something from my life. There's something different about this though, and it's in the writing. I watched some douchebag attorney be like, "Oh, I'm a lawyer reviewing, Better Call Saul," and he's like, "Oh, they did all that wrong, and they did all that wrong." It's like we're not looking for accuracy with the lawyer. We're looking for being entertained. No, we want to go through the whole mundane court proceedings. Yeah, that sounds fucking exciting as hell. No, we don't. So I don't need authenticity with the lawyer. It just needs to be believable. But what I'll tell you what is authentic, lawyer guy who did that video, who I'm not remembering, not strawmanning though, is what's absolutely authentic is the insanity that people go through when they try to go through this kind of lifestyle. Because I have lived that kind of life. I'm a grateful recovering addict, and I've lived this kind of life. And they got that right. It's insane. The steps you'll go through for such a little gain when you're down all the time. Jimmy being down all the time. I know what that's like. That's why that kind of hit hard with me, because I've been there. I've been down. So they got that right. Absolutely 100% right. So good on them. And that's the important part of the show. It's not about the anything. He is a lawyer, but it's about the authenticity of a character and the journey he goes through, especially when we're, focusing on the darker side of life. And yeah, that shit happens, and they do a very good job on it. So trust me on that one. As somebody who's been to many, many courthouses, and I'm not a lawyer. All right, so we'll wrap it up there. Yeah, honest, quality TV writing and acting in Better Call Saul. That's the big secret. Yeah, exactly. Authenticity, talent, great acting, but just honest. And it's not, oh God, what's the word for it? It's very mundane. Like it's we do episodes on Jimmy selling burner phones, just like little shit like that. He's not always doing some like major heist, it's very small time shit, but it's really, really well done and entertaining. So yeah, I like this show. I do. I really do. So I'm going to wrap it up for now, Better Call Saul fans and Breaking Bad fans. And I'll see you all at the finale. Looking forward to seeing you all here. It will be early this time. Sorry, I had trouble with my sling tonight, so I couldn't watch the episode till later. That's why we're late. So 7:15 next Monday, we will be live. Please join me for the finale, and we'll talk about it as long as you want. Destiny Captain says it's my favorite show, and I can see why. I can see why. There is a lot of good TV out there, guys. You just got to look for it sometimes. So, thank you to all of our Patreons, and thank you for everybody who joined me in the chat tonight or keep me company. I appreciate it. Mecha Random, Destiny Captain, Artemis Over Easy, CD Horde, Matt S, Matt Guy, Felipe Diaz, Santo Dominus, Dina DeWall, who is in Baja California, XE Baja California, Mexico. That's 91X. It's a radio station to listen to in San Diego. Johnny Pappas, you know what I'm talking about, Johnny Pappas. Penn Farm Girl. Is there anybody else in here? Ken Jack Ben. Always good to see Ken Jack Ben. And that's it. So, guys, thank you again. You're awesome. And look for a recorded video later on Manifest, episode 2. So, until then, everybody, may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Good night.